Welcome to our assembly on Friday the 8th of May 2020. On the 8th of May 1945 at 3 p.m, Winston Churchill announced to the nation that the war in Europe was over. This meant an end to nearly 6 years that had cost the lives of millions of people, destroyed families, homes and cities, and brought huge suffering to the populations of many countries across the globe. After years of wartime restrictions, rationing, nightly blackouts and bombing raids, people were understandably eager to enjoy themselves. However, not everyone felt like celebrating on VE Day. The hardships of the war years had taken their toll on many people, leaving them with little energy for rejoicing. For many, the celebrations were muted with sadness. For those who'd lost loved ones in the conflict, it was a time to reflect. For those whose homes had been reduced to rubble, it was a time to rebuild. And for those whose way of life would never return to the way it was a time to renew. On the 3rd of September 1939, as war was declared, John, as part of the British Expeditionary Force, prepared for embarkation to the continent to fight alongside the French soldiers. On the 4th of June 1940, he was swimming for his life at Dunkirk to get aboard one of the last vessels to evacuate survivors and transport them back to Britain. His comrades, his friends, lost to the invading guns and the relentless waves. 4 years later, on the 6th of June 1944, John was once again crossing the English Channel, this time as part of Operation Overlord, to make his D-Day landing. Once again, fighting for the freedoms that we all hold so dear. John never captured his thoughts in writing. He never sought medical help. He never mentioned the war. He didn't keep his uniform or his medals. John never spoke about his ordeal to anyone, and he lived a simple life as a recluse until one evening, in June 2005, he turned up out of the blue at his daughter's home. He sat and spoke all night and into the next day, recalling his time in the army, the friends that he'd made, the friends that he had lost. He spoke of the horrors that he'd seen, the people he could not save, and also of the thankfulness of those who were liberated. After 60 years, he had finally made peace with his family, his war, and himself. Earlier this year, the government decided to change the date of the bank holiday from May the 4th to May the 8th, to coincide with the anniversary of VE Day. They also granted pubs and restaurants licenses for longer opening hours to enable a weekend of celebrations. Across Europe, many events had been planned to celebrate, as one can 75 years on from the horrors of World War, with Europe now at peace. However, much of Europe finds itself once more in lockdown, fighting a new and invisible enemy, one which has not discriminated against race, religion, gender, age or wealth, one which has claimed the lives of family and friends and affected lives in a way we didn't know about a few months ago. So on this anniversary, it's right that we reflect upon the sacrifice that so many made in the service of others and focus on the way communities came together and became more attentive to each other, kinder and more compassionate. And perhaps we can translate those feelings into our lives today as we help to create feelings of safety, well-being and hope in our current crisis. In our time of prayer today, I'm going to use the same prayer that was used during a VE Day service at Westminster Abbey back in 1945. Perhaps you can substitute some of the words in your own mind as we reflect upon the sacrifices made by previous generations and pray for help in our current day. Let us pray. Let us remember with pride and honour those who have laid down their lives in the cause of freedom and justice. Let us remember also any who may still be detained in prison camps and those who are prisoners of war. And let us offer ourselves afresh to God, praying that we may be enabled to fulfil his purpose in the world. Amen. I'm pleased to award commendations to the following students: to Olivia, to Alexandra, Jacob, Toby, Oliver and Isabella. Those are all in Year 10, for working extremely hard in their food and nutrition work, responsibly responding rapidly and enthusiastically to tasks set and making super progress. To George, Emily and Zara, for their meticulous approach and ability to work independently in French. In mathematics, I'd like to commend Lucy in Year 10 for her all-round approach to working remotely. To Archie, Maddie and Olivia, also in Year 10, for their time, effort and energy spent on sensory learning. And to Hero for her effort and achievement in Year 7 maths. In Year 7, design technology commendations go to Isabel for excellent creative designs, to Heidi for perseverance and the improvement of her portfolio, and to Malachi for excellent design skills and presentation in his upcycling project. In Year 8 design, to Lily May for superb ideas and presentation of her portfolio, Francesca for enthusiasm for working extremely hard to produce an excellent project, to Christian for superb ideas and presentation skills, and to Benjamin for an unusual and highly creative project. In Year 9 technology, the following commendations are awarded: to George for recycling an old garden chair into a couple of new household items with brilliant designs, to Amy for her perseverance and the improvement of her design portfolio, to Olive for excellent research and presentation skills in her ideas, and to Tamsin for great design ideas and the creative thought process in her work. Commendations also go to Harry for enthusiasm for his project and his extreme hard work, and to Olivia for highly creative design ideas, and Lewis for renovating an antique piece of furniture. In art, commendations go to Scarlett for her excellent attitude to learning and for her resilience when feeling challenged. In her reproduction of one of Matisse's paintings, she's explored materials, discovered new techniques, and has reflected on her work as it's developed. Francesca for finding alternative ways to conduct research about an artist and then presenting them in her own words and thoughts and feelings in a very mature manner. To Lily for her creative sock character creation. Lily demonstrated a high level of skill to make the cutout of her pattern, hand stitch it, and then assemble her toy. And finally to Harry for his work with his family, creating a bar from old pallets in preparation for his sister's lockdown birthday party. We wish her many happy returns and hope she enjoys her celebrations. I wish you all a happy and a peaceful weekend.